What's going on, guys? It's been quite a minute since I posted. I've just been wanting to make another video, and I haven't had the time. It's been so cold outside. It's been snowing, it's been sleeting, raining, everything you can freaking think of. I've just been working late hours, and I just haven't really had any time. But finally I have some time, and I'm like, you know what? I need to get this done. So I just want to show you where I'm at right now. It's been 20 degrees the last few days, 59 degrees. Look at this car wash. Just take a look at this. Everybody's out enjoying this day, and it's really awesome. For this video, I'm going to be doing my top 5 performance modifications as well as my top 5 visual modifications, and give some reasoning kind of behind each one. So to start things off, you know, performance modifications, I'll start there. And I have to say, number one, of course, it's number one on everybody's list, Cobb Accesport. And the reason being is the stock tune on the car is just junk, and you know, you need the Accesport to really do anything else. If you're planning on making any sort of power with the car, you have to have it. It's just hands down, you know, that's just how it is. All right, so number 2, hands down, would have to be the flex fuel kit. And I kind of wish I would have done things a little bit differently and did it before I did now, but I'll explain this. So Ron Watson tuned my car from Phatbotti Tuning, and going over his number sheet, a factory car on just flex fuel, he can get to, I don't want to say the exact number and then end up being wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 320 wheel horsepower. I don't want to say the exact number and then end up being wrong, but stock car, completely stock, no exhaust, no intake, no EGR, no TGV, completely stock car, flex fuel, 300 wheel horsepower and up. And I'm pretty sure it was 320 wheel. My car is maybe making 360, and when I think of that, you know, I did TGV, EGR, you know, boost control, solenoid, exhaust, intake, all this stuff, and I'm making 50 horsepower more than that. More than a stock car on flex fuel. That's insane. And I know the price of a flex fuel kit and the price of the fuel pump is definitely way cheaper than all the stuff you would need to buy to go stage 2. And stage 2 isn't even going to put out as much power as that flex fuel kit. And that's just crazy to think about. And it's really not even a hard install. It's really simple. And I really wish I would have done it sooner now that I know everything that I know. I kind of put it off to the last thing, and it's just, I definitely wish I would have done that first. Now, if you live in an area where you can't get E85 or flex fuel, yeah, I wouldn't do it, because it's not worth it. It's not going to be worth your money if you can never run it, you know. So but that would be my number 2 thing. And number 3 is more it's more just for sound. Number 3 would have to be an intake. And the reason I give number 3 the intake the number 3 spot is because the intake just adds that dynamic to the car. It just gives it that extra effect. It gives it that feel. So when you hear it, just, you know, that just oh, it's mesmerizing, you know. And you can't really run a blow-off valve on these cars without, you know, you can't vent to atmosphere without having a special tune for it. And even then, sometimes people, you know, everyone is against them. And the stock bypass valve in these cars, you can hear it just fine with an intake. Without one, you can't hear it. But with an intake, you can clearly hear the stock bypass valve. You really hear that induction noise from the turbo, and it's mesmerizing. And the thing is, if you ask your tuner, he's going to tell you that's the last modification you should do. And the reason being is your stock intake is good for up over 400 wheel horsepower. So it's like, well, why bother slapping an intake on it if you're trying to make power? But in my opinion, it gives the car that extra feel. Especially like right now, I don't have a loud exhaust on the car, and it really helps, because when you don't have an exhaust, that's what you need. But anyways, moving on, going to number 4. This is more of a preventative maintenance sort of thing. It's not quite going to add to your performance, but definitely oil catch can system or the air oil separator system. Now, either one is going to give you about the same results from the research I've done, but it's definitely insane how much oil you will catch in a catch can on this car. I'm running the Mishimoto dual baffle catch can setup, and especially if you're buying this car brand new with 0 miles, I might even put that before the Accesport. And the reason being is it's gonna prolong the life of your car. It's gonna keep your valves clean. It's gonna keep the whole head of your car clean, heads of your car clean. And it's just gonna keep everything in a more organized order. You're not gonna be burning as much oil. You're not gonna be losing as much power over time. It's just a beneficial thing to do. But I'm all about smiles and going fast, so I'm putting that at number 4 because I'd rather go fast. It's not cheap. It costs about $300, and for $200 more you could buy a used Accesport. So I'm gonna put that at number 4. And then number 5, this one's gonna be tough because you know you're already making power if you do the Accesport and the flex fuel kit. But for me, it's probably the downpipe. That's probably what it is, because, you know, even on a stock exhaust, you get that extra turbo whistle noise, and whether you're catted or catless, it doesn't matter. But a lot of tuners aren't going to tune your catless downpipe without an external wastegate, and you really shouldn't be running one without an external wastegate because you're going to be burning oil, and that's just how it is. So I'm constantly smelling burning oil in my car, and I have the catch cans as well as I have the Perrin restrictor, the sump restrictor for the turbo, so I shouldn't be burning oil, but I still am. And that's just one of the problems with running catless, as well as overboosting issues. I really don't see any overboosting issues, but it definitely happens. It definitely still happens to some people. I've just been lucky, and maybe it's because I'm running a resonator and a stock muffler, and that kind of helps with back pressure and such. But that's definitely a thing to consider. But it's going to give you the performance you need. You know, even if you're not going, you know, that's going to get you to your stage 2. That's going to get you more power if you're on ethanol. You know, it's your gateway, and it definitely sounds really good. You know, whether it has the boxer rumble or not, it's just it's a nice sound, and that's really it. You know, that's the rest of the stuff is all just supporting mods to make the extra power that you want. But that's all the big things right there, and. Moving on to visual, this is going to be different. So the first thing I would do visually to the car is literally the first thing that I did, which was black out the headlights. Unless you have a premium, or you have an STI or something and it already has the black housing headlights. If you have the chrome headlights, instantly number 1. I don't care. They look so bad. I'm sorry. They look so bad. Especially on darker colors, because they just stand out. On silver and like white, it's not as noticeable, but you have a black car or a gray car or even the blue or red, it's just like boom, chrome. I don't know why these car dealers keep using chrome. I really don't think anybody likes chrome anymore. So, you know, some people do, and if you do, that's okay. This is just my opinion. I hate the chrome headlights. When the whole entire housing is chrome like that, it's just awful. So definitely the first thing I would do. Excuse me, and yeah, that hands down number 1. Number 2, and this is where it's going to get weird because some people might disagree with me, but number 2 is going to be lowering springs or coilovers, and the reason I put that before wheels is because number 3 is obviously going to be wheels, but in my opinion, if you have a stock car, stock suspension, stock wheels, okay, blah, it's a stock car. If you put wheels on a stock car on stock ride height, I think it looks funny. And the reason it looks funny is because I'm like, damn, that car has nice wheels, you know, it looks pretty good, but it looks like it's a freaking monster truck 10 feet in the air. Obviously that's exaggerated. You know, these cars sit pretty low stock, but they definitely have a wheel gap, and when you put aftermarket wheels on it, it kind of looks funny. It almost looks like they don't fit the car. The stock wheels, you know, if you have wheel gap on a stock wheel, you know, when you're upsizing your wheels, you're going to end up going with thinner wall tires usually or something, and it just always looks out of place in my opinion. So if your car's stock height and you have aftermarket wheels and you have that extra wheel gap, it looks awful. So, you know, that's going to improve the handling of the car. It's going to sit the car lower. And in my opinion, a stock car or a car on stock wheels but lowered looks better than a car with aftermarket wheels and stock height. That's my opinion. You know, yours might be different. That's just the way I think it should be done. I would definitely lower it first, or even do it at the same time. But if I have to number them, lowering would be number 2, wheels would be number 3. Number 4, this one. What am I going to say for number 4? Now, this isn't really a visual thing, I guess. It kind of is, but it's more functionality, but it's definitely visual. I wouldn't call it an exterior vision mod. It's interior. And it's the Android radio, or any radio. Now, this would be for my car in particular. The newer cars have slightly better radios. You know, they have the touchscreen and stuff, but even when I had my 17 and I had the touchscreen, it still didn't work out for me because the Bluetooth, no matter what phone I used, whether it was mine or a friend's, the Bluetooth always disconnected. It never stayed connected. Halfway through a song, it would cut out. So definitely some sort of aftermarket radio. That's just my opinion. You know, it's going to give you more options. You can plug your USB in and all that stuff. Well, actually, you could do that with the new ones now. So actually, I'm not even going to say that. You know, I'm not even going to say that now. Because all the new ones, it's pretty much fixed. The stock radio is fine. You don't really need an aftermarket radio. And I'm being honest there. Like, if I bought a 19, I would leave the stock radio in it. That's just, yeah. I wouldn't change out the radio in a 19 or even an 18. So, if you have a 15 or 16, or maybe even a 17, probably just 15, 16, I would definitely swap out the radio, number 2. Or sorry, number 4. If you don't have that in place of the radio, I would... See, I don't even know. I'd do an engine dress-up kit. Because the stock engine looks pretty boring. You know, stock motor with just, you know, the regular plastic engine cover, and it just looks kind of boring. I would do like an engine dress-up kit. It's going to cost you about the same or a lot less to do the engine dress-up kit. You know, the radio is going to run you about between $300 and $600, and the engine dress-up kit's going to run you between $3 and $5 maybe. Yeah, actually, $3's depends what you do. But if you're taking $600 for a radio and putting it in your engine bay, you can make it look really slick. You could do different engine covers. You could do like carbon fiber, you know, side moldings and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that's where I go at with that. Number 5. This might change over time. My opinion might change. But number 5 is going to be the STI wing. And it's so funny because I constantly change my opinion about it. But overall, I think it makes the car look more sporty. It just, I don't care. You know, I get trashed on all the time because I have an STI wing on my WRX, and I really don't care. You know, without that back there, it looks like every other car on the road. And anybody that has a regular car, it's only Subaru drivers and like some other car people that are like, oh, put an STI wing on a WRX. But anytime I talk to anyone that's like, you know, moderately into cars or people that aren't into cars at all, you know, they see the wing, they know, oh, that's a fast Subaru. Like, I don't know. It just brings the car together. But there's times where I look at it and I'm like, that just looks like it doesn't fit. It looks like it doesn't belong. And I think about getting a duck bill or going back to the stock trunk, and I don't know. It's definitely a good modification. It definitely looks good. But everyone's opinion is going to be different on that, because I know the STI guys get rid of the spoiler sometimes. So I just think it brings the car together more. It is kind of obnoxious, and it does kind of look funky, you know, sometimes, but other times it looks really good. And hell, why don't you get 2 trunks? Swap back and forth. You know, one week you're feeling the wing, the next week you're not. Just swap it out. But yeah. So that's my top 10 things, my top 5 visual, my top 5 performance. So, you know, let me know what you guys think. And, you know, if you want to follow that guide, by all means, especially for the performance, I would definitely go for it. If you're on the fence about, you know, making any power, avoiding your warranty, definitely I'd just do it. Just do it. You know, especially on a newer car, you know, get your break-in period in, throw an access port on it, do ethanol. Just do it. And if something happens and your car, you know, something happens to your car and you got to take it in for service for a warranty issue, take the access port off. You can leave the stock, or you can leave the fuel pump in. They're not going to check for that, and you can run the aftermarket fuel pump on a stock tune. So all you would have to do is literally just disconnect the disconnect the flex fuel kit from all the connections, reconnect all the stock stuff, you know, reconnect the stock fuel line, disconnect your access port. It could literally take you an hour, and you're going to be just fine with your warranty. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, they'll scan your car to see if you have an access port on. They're not going to do that. They really aren't going to do that. So, and all they'll see is that it's been reflashed, and I'm pretty sure anytime you kill your car, the battery dies, it reflashes. I think that's about it, guys. Like I said, just want to make a quick video for you guys. It kind of went a little longer than I thought it would, but just kind of give my opinion on some things. And if you guys have any questions or comments, if you guys have any good video ideas, you know, something you want to see from me, just let me know, because I've been trying to think of more things to do, and right now I'm in a kind of a weird situation that I'll explain in another video about what I want to do with this car. And pretty soon I'm going to be bringing out a video on how to fix curb rash, because I decided to curb rash my wheels. So I'm going to be making a video on that. But that's about all I have planned for now. So if you guys have anything that you'd like to see, let me know and I'll make it for you. But anyways, thanks for the support. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, as always. And yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one.